Nancy Pelosi has crossed the line, and she's reached the point of no return. Pelosi, along with Chuck Schumer, has been busy blackmailing the swamp rats over at the DOJ and FBI to keep certain damning information from President Donald Trump. Well, Pelosi just got caught red-handed delivering the terms of the secret treasonous deal to the DOJ and FBI, and Trump is making her regret it, big time. You don't want to miss this. The minute President Trump shocked the Democrats and their cohorts over at the DOJ and FBI by ordering the declassification of the FISA applications of Carter Page, along with the redaction of every Peter Strzok and Lisa Page text message, the swamp has been panicking. The Democrats and the swamp rats can't afford for the truth to come out. But, there are certain factions the Democrats fear over at the DOJ and FBI, who may not be on board to stall this declassification. U.S. intelligence officials, blindsided by President Donald Trump's order that they make public highly sensitive files in the Russia investigation, are hoping the White House will allow them to conduct a formal declassification review and damage assessment before they are forced to release the documents, current and former officials tell NBC News. The outlet reported. They add, senior executives at the FBI, Justice Department and Office of the Director of National Intelligence were scrambling Tuesday to respond after being taken by surprise by a White House press release Monday directing them to release classified material they had previously determined should not be made public. Yes, even though the president ordered the immediate declassification, it still must be done by the top officials at the DOJ and FBI. You'd think that ignoring a direct order from the president might be seen as disobeying a direct order or dereliction of duty, and you would be right. But, desperate times call for desperate measures, so Pelosi has just delivered the first shot across the bow. Nancy Pelosi, along with the approval of Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff, and Mark Warner, the four Democrats who sit on the Gang of Eight, just delivered a shocking letter to those responsible for doing the declassification, Deputy AG Rod Rosenstein, FBI Director Christopher Wray, and Director of the ONNI Dan Coats. In this stunning letter is a treasonous admission, which Pelosi and her gang of four Democrats hoped would fly under the radar. The conservative Treehouse explains the letter, reporting, perhaps more stunningly, and extra-constitutionally, meaning outside the framework of constitutional separation of power. Within the jaw-dropping letter the four Democrats outline previous verbal conversations and current agreements with Coats, Rosenstein, and Wray where the cabinet officers agreed to keep information away from the White House chief executive, the president. Yeah, let that sink in. These swamp rats had secret verbal conversations. Of course, those communications excluded the GOP members on the Gang of Eight, Devin Nunes, Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell, and Richard Burr. And, in what is tantamount to blackmail, Pelosi is outing them as taking part in these treasonous conversations, squeezing them to not declassify the FISA applications nor make the redactions public. Pay special attention to the third paragraph. That third paragraph is particularly damning. The verbal assurance you provided us that DOJ and FBI would not provide the White House or any of the president's attorneys with access to sensitive information briefed to a small group of designated members. This letter reeks of corruption, manipulative intent, and between-the-lines admissions of gross intelligence abuses. Additionally, the appearance of a visible alignment between corrupt executive branch officials, Wray, Rosenstein, possibly Coats, and corrupt intelligence oversight officials, Schiff, Warner, Pelosi, Schumer, is jaw-droppingly obvious. Further explains the conservative Treehouse. This letter proves Pelosi and her Democratic cohorts were engaged in secret conversations to stop President Trump from learning the truth about the FISA warrants, and it exposes the entire soft coup attempt carried out by the Obama administration. It also alleges that Rod Rosenstein, Christopher Wray, and Dan Coats were complicit in this treasonous deal. Well, President Trump has gotten a hold of DNI Dan Coats, and according to multiple sources in the intel community, Coats isn't playing Pelosi's game. He will release the declassified FISA portions as requested. Thankfully, the Fisk Court, judicial branch, supports the executive branch in this approach. Now, why isn't this being thoroughly reported in the mainstream news? We all know why. They care nothing about reporting on the real corruption right under their noses. Let this be an example of the vast amount of corruption President Trump is faced with as he drains the swamp. It's our duty as patriots to spread this information far and wide and do everything in our power to ensure the Democrats' so-called blue wave fizzles this November.